Yeah, hi there. These comments are for RA, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the online TOEFL course, the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT, and you're answering independent speaking practice test number 6. So, which do you think is better, living on campus in dorms or living off campus in apartments? All right, so I'm looking at the independent speaking rubrics according to the ETS, Educational Testing Service. Let's listen to your practice test one time. I will not make any comments, and the second time, I will give you some comments and I will figure out where your score is here.
In my opinion, living on campus in dorms is better than living off campus in apartments. And the reason for that is safety. Living on campus in dorms is usually protected by security, and there's always abundance of people living in the same area. And this is very important, especially if the student is new to the area. I once remember one of my friends was living in an apartment, and she was followed by a man until she reached her apartment and locked the door. She was terrified that day, and then she decided to move to dorms. And she lived after that safe in her dorms until the end of college.
Okay, so overall, I think your delivery's not bad. You maybe had a few minor pauses in there. Topic development, you can probably work on this a little bit more, but let's go to the beginning. So you're talking about living on campus in dorms is safer, in your opinion, than living off campus in apartments, right?
In my opinion, living on campus in dorms is better than living off campus in apartments. And the reason for that is safety.
What I would do there is just say, in choosing between the two methods or in choosing where to live when I'm at a university, I prefer to live on campus because it's a safer alternative to living off campus in apartments or something.
Living on campus in dorms is usually protected by security, and
I want to say is protected by, so a little bit of trauma. It almost sounded like you're saying predicted by, but protected by.
there's always abundance of people living in the same area. And this is very important, especially if the student is new.
What kinds of people there? But there's typically security, such as police officers, who are typically assigned to a university to protect it.
To the area. I once remember one of my friends was living.
When you say I want to remember, say for instance or to illustrate. So consider using a transition word right around 29 seconds in your response to help introduce that support point.
In an apartment, and she was followed by a man until she reached her apartment and locked the door. She was terrified that day, and then she decided to.
Maybe say therefore she was really frightened that day. If you use therefore, you're trying to link what's called a cause-effect type relationship. This is where you can improve, I think, is the topic development over here, where it talks about response is mostly coherent and sustained. It conveys relevant ideas, information. Overall development somewhat limited, usually lacks elaboration or specificity. Relationship between ideas may not be immediately clear. So if you can use more transition words in there, it can definitely help you in this area.
Move to dorms. And she lived after that safe in her dorms until the end of college.
See, that's a little bit awkward how you said that thing. And you might want to say, as a result of living in dorms, she felt much safer, during the remainder of her college career or something. So I think on this one, it's not terrible. I think it's possible you could score in the 3 range. So I'm going to put you right around 23 points out of 30 on this practice test. Now, what can you do to improve? If you go over to the speaking area of my course, take a look at the lesson. It's called Making Your Speaking More Coherent. check out that particular lesson. I think it's speaking lesson number 7.